So today we are going to talk about Antarctica. So we just came back from Antarctica. We spent 10 days exploring one of the most coldest continents on the world, on the planet, on the world. And I'm going to tell you all about it. So stay tuned. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a few things. I'm actually going to have my phone here for my notes to make sure I cover everything. So actually, I'm going to talk about 19 things that you need to know before going to Antarctica. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to talk about is when is the best time to go to Antarctica? Well, it's important to note that between April and about early October is considered the winter months for Antarctica. So what that simply means is during those times, expedition cruises or traditional cruise line typically don't go to Antarctica because it's really, really cold during those times. And it's just not safe for traditional or for tourism to take place during those times. You're typically only going to see, if any, researchers and scientists during those times of the months in Antarctica. However, when it comes to late October all the way to March, those are considered the summer months. And during those, or summer and fall months, I would say, and during those times, that is the best time, or those are typically the time when Antarctica cruises take place. Now, a lot of people, when they think about going to Antarctica, they think about the cost or, when is the best time to go and why is the best time to go. So between December and February, those are kind of like the peak season. And it's the peak season because that's when you're going to see the animals, the babies, they're going to be starting to grow up or come out of their shells and grow or anything like that. And it's just very cool and unique to see those different changes that takes place. Now, I do want to caution you between the months of December and February, it's also the most expensive time as well because you get to see lots of wildlife, like lots of wildlife galore. Okay. You are going to see babies coming to life, babies coming out of their shells. You're going to see lots of wildlife. Now, when we went to Antarctica, we went in March. March is considered the end of the season or the end of summer going into fall. And yes, we did see some wildlife. We saw some babies that were still shedding their skin, some penguins that were still shedding their baby fur in order to go into the water. We saw lots of humpbacks that were still around. We saw lots of orcas as well. We saw some seals, different kinds of seals. So you were still able to see some cool wildlife in those months. But I also want to let you know, it's a hit and miss. You are going to see something, but you're not going to see a galore like you would in the months of December and February. Now, with that being said, is the end of the season is the most cheapest, the most cheapest and the most cost efficient time to go. And I'm actually going to go into the different details of that for you. Okay. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the difference between a traditional cruise line and a expedition cruise line. So traditional cruise lines are like your Royal Caribbean and those kinds of those bigger ships. The traditional cruise lines are ships that hold about 500 to more people. Now, when it comes to an expedition ship typically hold about less than 500 people. In my opinion, if you are going to go to Antarctica, the only way to truly see Antarctica is through an expedition ship. I'm just going to keep it real, right? Because here's some reasons why I recommend expedition ships, right? So expedition ships, they are much smaller. A lot of those expedition ships, they hold anywhere from under 300 people, or they don't go above 300 or don't go above 500. Because Antarctica has a special treaty or a special law that says you can only have about 100 people on land at a time. And that brings me to an expedition ship. An expedition ship allows you to actually walk on land. It allows you to actually get up close and personal to those wildlife, those humpbacks. We literally had a humpback right next to us. I have some underwater footage I can definitely show you, but it was the most coolest experience ever. When you're on a traditional cruise line, you cannot experience those things. On a traditional cruise line, you're really just sailing into the vicinity of Antarctica. You don't get to step foot on land. You don't get to explore the wildlife. You don't get to truly have that experience of, oh my gosh, I am in a totally different galaxy. So I would definitely recommend to go for an expedition cruise line. You know, save up what you need to save up. And make it happen, because an expedition cruise line is truly an experience of a lifetime. And I would highly recommend that, because you get to go into some crevices, going into some corners. Our expedition went through this corner, these two alley. I don't know how they fit through it, but they did it. And one thing I love about expedition cruises is they are equipped to handle the Drake Passage, right? And we're going to talk about that later on. But I would definitely recommend, if you're thinking about doing Antarctica, honestly, the only way to do it is to hop on an expedition cruise, really and truly, because you're going to really get a good feeling of it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to see the wildlife. You're going to get a chance to get up close and personal. So that's really the only truly way to see it. All right. Okay, so how long are the expedition cruises? So expedition cruises can range from 8 days, 10 days, 13 days, 15 days. So those are some of the lengths that I've seen. So I would definitely recommend that you choose the one that was best for you. Now, since this was our first cruise, I decided to go with the 9-10 day cruise, because I was taking my kids and I wasn't sure how the experience is going to be and how they would take going across the Drake Passage. But 9-10 days was perfect for us. We got 2 days sailing to Antarctica going, 2 days sailing back. So that's 4 days. And we had 5 full days of us exploring the continent. And that was perfect for us. And what I love about those 5 days is each day you got to explore twice. So you got an AM zodiac and you have a PM zodiac, which was amazing. So you got 10 opportunities to walk on land or explore the waters, learn about the continent. It was just the right amount for us. So I would say research the right amount of length that you were thinking of going, and then make the best of it. Okay, so I know this is the question that a lot of people always think about when they come to planning their Antarctica cruises. What should I pack? I'm going to tell y'all right now. So we went with all five of our family, my husband, myself, and my 3 kids. And I want to tell you now, less is more, right? Less is more. We completely overpacked, y'all. We literally had 2 suitcases of clothes filled that we did not need at all. And I know a lot of people are thinking, you're going to the coldest place on earth. Of course, you're going to need to bundle up. I'm anemic, so I'm always cold. And I'm an island girl as well, so I'm always cool. So I always want to be warm and bundle up. But y'all, I did not need half of the clothes, and I'm going to tell you why. First things first is the ship itself, the expedition ship, they keep it nice and cozy, nice and warm. So you can literally walk around with a t-shirt and a shorts if you want to. Now, of course, if you're going to go outside on the balcony to explore or to see to bird watch or to see some of the wildlife, you're going to need some pants on and you're going to need a jacket, but you don't need any thick winter clothes at all. And then when you're coming off the ship and you're doing your zodiac landings, the first day we had on 3 layers of clothes. Plus they give you a parka jacket, which is nice and warm and toasty. And then you have on your boots. Y'all, I was burning up. I was hot. Okay. I thought I was having a hot flash, right? The reason being is because I figured, okay, all right, I'm always cold, so I need to be warm and toasty, right? But because you are walking so much and because you are hiking up these snow mountains, you're going to get hot. So by day 2, honey, we had one layer on. That's it. We had one layer on, and I'm going to show you a quick video of that. We had one layer on. I had thermal pants on, one thermal pants, one thermal shirt on, and then we had our parka, and then of course our thermal socks. That's it. The day 2, y'all, I had on the whole, y'all should see me. I'm probably going to put the video up here somewhere. But day 1, y'all, I had on a whole under thermal garment. Then I had on a body thermal garment. And then I had on my thermal pants. Then I had on my thermal shirt. And then I had on 2 pairs of thermal socks. When I tell you, I was burning up. I was hot. Okay. I was like, oh no. By day 2, I was like, no, baby. I have to take off some of these, because when you go on those expeditions, those Zodiac expeditions, you're going to be doing a lot of walking, right? And you're going to get hot. And plus the parka that they give you so you only need one layer, right? Now you can bring extra layers and kind of do what I did to see how your body is going to react with that. But really less is more, right?